The latest chapter in The Bold and the Beautiful has shaken the very foundation of the Forrester family and their empire. The return of Daphne, a name that had been lost to time but is now resurfacing with a vengeance, introduces a new layer of conflict and intrigue that promises to leave everyone reeling. Daphne, a former associate of Eric Forrester, has returned to Los Angeles with one goal in mind: reclaiming what she believes is rightfully hers. She walks back into the Forrester fold, armed with a secret contract and a demand that will turn everything upside down. Before Daphne's departure from LA years ago, she had been an integral part of the Forrester business world, particularly in the fragrance industry. What no one knew, however, was that she had entered into a covert agreement with Eric Forrester, one that would tie her to the company for years to come. This contract, signed in secret, ensured that Daphne would receive a share of the profits or stock in the Forrester business line, should the products bearing her name succeed. For years, her name had been synonymous with success in the fragrance industry, but with the sudden rise of Forrester Creations' perfume lines, Daphne's involvement was never fully acknowledged or rewarded. Until now, Daphne's return is not one of nostalgia or reconciliation, it is a calculated move. She has come to town with a singular purpose: to demand what is hers. She steps into the world of Forrester Creations, determined to reclaim her share of the profits and the royalties for the fragrance line that, unbeknownst to many, has been operating under her name. Daphne is not here for a reunion or a friendly chat. Her return is as a businesswoman, ready to fight for what she is owed. She has already filed a lawsuit, seeking legal action to take back her portion of the royalties and stock from Forrester Creations. The lawsuit claims that the Forrester family, particularly Eric and the current leadership, have unjustly profited from her name and legacy without offering her the compensation she believes she is entitled to. As soon as Daphne's legal papers are filed, chaos erupts within the Forrester empire. The timing couldn't be worse. Forrester Creations is thriving, the perfume lines are more popular than ever, and the Forrester family is riding high on their success. Carter, Hope, Ridge, and Steffi, all key figures in the company, suddenly find themselves thrust into a high-stakes battle over ownership, profit, and legacy. The potential loss of Daphne's share threatens not only their financial interests but also their standing within the company. Carter, who has worked tirelessly to secure the future of Forrester Creations, is furious at the turn of events. He is deeply concerned that this lawsuit could unravel years of hard work and risk everything the family has built. He has always trusted Eric's decisions, but Daphne's claims bring into question the fairness of their business dealings. For Carter, the thought of losing the company's perfume line or, even worse, sharing profits with someone like Daphne, who he feels doesn't deserve a stake, fills him with resentment. His loyalty to the Forrester family has always been unwavering, and now he finds himself at a crossroads, having to choose between protecting the family legacy and defending the financial interests of those who are truly responsible for the company's growth. Hope, on the other hand, is torn. She is a young and ambitious member of the Forrester team, and her career at the company is only just beginning to flourish. The threat of Daphne claiming a portion of the profits from the perfume line sends shockwaves through her. Hope has worked so hard to make her mark, and she has always believed that the Forrester name was hers to carry forward. The thought of sharing that success with someone like Daphne, someone who has no current role in the company, feels like a betrayal of her efforts and the work she's put into her own brand within Forrester Creations. At the same time, Hope cannot ignore the fact that Daphne's legal claim could complicate everything they've built. She's caught between the drive to protect her own future and the loyalty she feels to her family, and the legacy of the Forrester name. Ridge, ever the protector of the Forrester family, sees Daphne's return as a direct threat to everything they've built. As the company's creative leader and a key member of the family, Ridge is unwilling to let anyone, especially someone like Daphne, undermine the Forrester empire. He knows that the family's financial success is tied to their reputation, and a lawsuit from Daphne could drag them into a public battle that could tarnish their name. Ridge has always been fiercely protective of his family and the Forrester brand, and he views Daphne's legal action as an attack on everything they stand for. He wants to take action to ensure that the family comes out on top, but his feelings toward Daphne, combined with the growing tension between family members, make this a delicate situation. Ridge is determined to protect what's his, but he knows that doing so could alienate those around him. Steffi, too, is deeply affected by Daphne's return. As a member of the Forrester family who has had her fair share of battles over the years, Steffi understands the importance of securing the company's future. However, she also knows that the fragrance line has been a cornerstone of the company's success. Losing a portion of that would be devastating. not just financially but also in terms of their image in the market. Steffi is not someone who backs down easily, and she sees Daphne's actions as a challenge to her own position within the family and the company. She feels a strong need to protect her family's legacy, but she also knows that Daphne's claims may be valid. The Forrester name has always been intertwined with business, but the emotional stakes of this situation are far from simple. As the legal battle heats up, the Forrester family begins to fracture under the pressure. Carter, Hope, Ridge, and Steffi find themselves caught in a web of conflicting loyalties and competing interests. Each of them is focused on securing the future of the company, but their personal motivations and relationships cloud their judgment. The family dynamic is tested as each member grapples with Daphne's return, their future in the company, and the realization that the Forrester empire may be at risk. The fallout from Daphne's lawsuit is immediate and far-reaching. Forrester Creations, which had once been a symbol of success, now faces the very real possibility of losing control over its most lucrative product line. The family's reputation, their legacy, and their financial future are all on the line. And while they fight to keep what they've worked so hard to build, they are also forced to confront the truth of their past actions. The Forrester family may have been the driving force behind the brand, but it was Daphne's contribution that helped put the fragrance line on the map. Now, the question remains, will the Forrester family come together to protect their empire, or will their fractured unity lead to the unraveling of everything they've built? As Daphne's case moves forward, the pressure on the Forrester family intensifies. With the lawsuit hanging over them, and no clear resolution in sight, each family member must decide where their loyalty lies. Do they stand by their family, or do they fight for what they believe is rightfully theirs? The stakes have never been higher, and the battle for control of Forrester Creations is just beginning. The tension between Daphne and the Forrester family will continue to build, and the consequences of their actions will echo through the halls of Forrester Creations for years to come. The drama in the bold and the beautiful intensifies as a seismic shift occurs within the Forrester family. The sudden and unexpected death of Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the family and the cornerstone of Forrester Creations, sends shockwaves through the company and the entire fashion world. Eric, who had been the steady hand guiding the Forrester empire for decades, succumbs to a heart attack, leaving behind a legacy that is now at risk. The news of his death hits the family hard, and what follows is a ruthless battle for control of the company. The Forrester family, once united in their vision and ambition, is now deeply divided as they grapple with the question of who will succeed Eric as the CEO of Forrester Creations. Eric's death creates a massive void in leadership, and the question of who will take over as CEO becomes the central issue. Ridge, Eric's son, has always been positioned as the heir apparent, but his past decisions and complicated relationships with various family members now raise doubts about his ability to lead. Steffi, Eric's other child, has proven herself to be a strong and capable leader in her own right, but her role in the company has always been more focused on creativity and innovation rather than the operational side of the business. Meanwhile, Carter, the legal expert who has been a longtime ally of the Forrester family, is seen as a potential candidate, given his loyalty to the family and his experience in handling corporate matters. Then there is Brooke, Eric's wife, whose involvement in the company has been more personal than professional but who now finds herself at the center of this high-stakes power struggle. Each of these individuals has their own ambitions and desires, and as they compete for the top spot, the Forrester family finds itself in a perilous situation, torn apart by their differing visions and personal conflicts. Ridge, who has spent his life in the shadow of his father's success, is eager to take on the role of CEO. He believes that he is the natural choice, the one who understands the company's vision and legacy better than anyone. But Ridge's relationship with Steffi, Carter, and even his own wife, Brooke, complicates his path. The Forrester family is a complex web of emotions, old wounds, and alliances, and the competition for the CEO position brings these tensions to the surface. Ridge is confident that he is the right person for the job, but as the family members jockey for position, he soon realizes that the battle for power will be far more challenging than he ever expected. Steffi, on the other hand, sees the death of Eric as an opportunity to step into the role of CEO. She has always admired her father's work and has worked hard to build her own reputation within the company. Steffi is a brilliant businesswoman, and she has long been an advocate for innovation and forward thinking. She feels that Forrester Creations needs a fresh perspective, someone who can take the company to new heights. Steffi's passion for the company and her drive to prove herself as a capable leader make her a formidable contender. However, Steffi's assertiveness often clashes with Ridge's sense of entitlement, leading to a tense and bitter rivalry. As the two siblings clash, the Forrester family is forced to confront difficult questions about loyalty, power, and who truly has the best interests of the company at heart. Carter, who has been with the Forrester family for years, has earned their trust and respect, making him another serious contender for the CEO position. Carter's calm, collected demeanor and his legal expertise make him an excellent candidate for the role. He has the business acumen and the experience to navigate the complex challenges the company faces. In the wake of Eric's death, however, Carter's close relationships with various members of the family, particularly Hope, complicate his position. His loyalty to the Forresters is unquestioned, but his feelings for Hope, who is caught up in the turmoil of her own personal life, cloud his judgment. As the power struggle intensifies, Carter finds himself torn between his desire to help the company and his loyalty to the people he cares about. The question of whether Carter's ambition will push him to take on the CEO role or whether his heart will lead him in a different direction remains a key point of uncertainty. Brooke, who has been a key figure in Eric's life, now finds herself thrust into a leadership role in the wake of his death. Although her involvement in the company has been more on the periphery, her marriage to Eric has given her a significant stake in the family business. Brooke is not a businesswoman in the traditional sense, but her influence and her ability to navigate personal relationships make her a wildcard in the race for CEO. As the Forrester family faces an uncertain future, Brooke must decide whether she will fight for a more prominent role in the company or step back and allow the younger generation to take charge. Her position as a loving wife to Eric and a stepmother to Ridge and Steffi gives her a unique perspective, but it also complicates her ability to take an objective stance in the family conflict. Brooke is caught between her loyalty to her family and her own desire for control, and her actions in the coming weeks will have a profound impact on the direction of Forrester Creations. Amid the internal power struggle, Daphne, a figure from the past, sees an opportunity to exact revenge on the Forrester family for what she believes is a long-standing injustice. Daphne, who has always been a calculating and shrewd businesswoman, decides to use Eric's death as a stepping stone to further her own interests. She capitalizes on the chaos surrounding the Forrester family's leadership crisis by making a dramatic move. She unveils a secret contract that she had signed with Eric before his death, one that entitles her to a share of Forrester Creations' profits from the fragrance line that bears her name. Daphne's contract, hidden from the family for years, grants her a significant stake in the company if the fragrance line succeeds. With Eric's death, Daphne sees an opening to demand her fair share of the profits and royalties, something she has long been denied. The timing of Daphne's revelation is nothing short of calculated. She knows that the Forrester family is vulnerable, torn apart by the internal power struggle, and she is determined to exploit the situation to her advantage. Daphne's demands for her share of the profits and royalties put the Forrester family in a difficult position. As they scramble to retain control of the company, they are forced to confront the reality of Daphne's legal claim. Her ability to manipulate the situation to her advantage shows just how ruthless she can be. Daphne's presence in the Forrester world is a reminder of past mistakes, and her actions threaten to destabilize the company just when it needs to pull together the most. But Daphne's plans don't stop there. In her quest for revenge, she sets her sights on Hope. Daphne knows that Hope's relationship with Carter is central to the power dynamics within the Forrester family, and she decides to use Hope's feelings for Carter against her. Daphne begins to sow seeds of doubt in Hope's mind, subtly suggesting that Carter is more interested in money and stock options than in Hope herself. By manipulating Hope's emotions, Daphne hopes to create a rift between Hope and Carter, weakening their relationship and destabilizing Carter's standing within the family. Hope, already struggling with her own insecurities and doubts about her place within the company, finds herself increasingly vulnerable to Daphne's manipulations. As Daphne continues to pull the strings, Hope's personal and professional life begins to unravel, and she is forced to confront the harsh reality of the choices she's made. Daphne's plan unfolds with cold precision. As Hope's trust in Carter falters, she begins to question his true intentions. The pressure from Daphne's whispers, combined with her own fears of being left behind, pushes Hope to the brink. The tension between Hope and Carter grows, and the cracks in their relationship become more visible. Hope's emotional turmoil only adds fuel to Daphne's fire, and as the Forrester family fights to maintain control of the company, they are also forced to deal with the destruction Daphne is wreaking in their personal lives. The question now is not just who will take control of Forrester Creations, but whether Hope and Carter's relationship will survive the storm that Daphne has unleashed. As Daphne's plan unfolds, the Forrester family must navigate a delicate balance of power, loyalty, and betrayal, with Eric's death creating a void of leadership. The battle for the top spot within Forrester Creations intensifies, and the stakes have never been higher. Ridge, Steffi, Carter, and Brooke all fight for their place at the table, but Daphne's vendetta threatens to tear them apart. In the coming weeks, the Forrester family will face its greatest test yet, as they try to pick up the pieces of Eric's legacy while fighting off Daphne's relentless pursuit of revenge. Will they be able to survive the power struggle, or will Daphne's plot succeed in dismantling everything they've worked so hard to build? The fate of Forrester Creations hangs in the balance, and the drama is only just beginning.